Mr. Chairman, your meeting is live.
Thank you. I'll bring this meeting to order of the Senate Appropriations Committee. First item is the roll call, please.
Senator Driscoll.
Excused?
Senator French. Here. Senator Garou.
Here.
Senator Larson.
Excused?
Chairman Salzar.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Appreciate that, Linda. First item is House Bill 36, Forestry Division Wildland Fire Modules. Do we have that would like to come up? We have the governor's office here. Good to have you both here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sir?
Appreciate your time today. While I'm not presenting the bill, I believe this is a bill that you are well acquainted with.
Amen.
I'm Randall Luthi. I'm the governor's policy director. And joining me is Kelly Norris, who knows everything about fires and forests in Wyoming, as well as much as the western United States. So I'm great to have her as backup. My comments are very brief, very general. We are fully in support of this bill, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. As we look at even today, we're nearing the end of February, and as you look throughout most of the state of Wyoming, it is dry. And not only dry, but damn dry, if you don't mind the expression. That just sets up well that we could have another big fire season. And we've had two big fire seasons, 2 of the last 3 years. And what we have found through, is that we are often slower than we would like to be able to respond to those fires. We have a great relationship with our federal partners, but really when it starts, we generally make the first moves, we make the first decisions, we have to be on site first. And we went out and asked the communities, the people who actually fight these fires, what would help you in the future? And that's where this module system, was developed. Modules that could be deployed throughout different areas of the state. And it's important to have them well equipped and have them ready to go. And that's what this bill does today. We are recommending, as the bill does, 2 fire modules. Let's see how that goes. If we can continue on 2 and it works, I suggest that is what we will do. The only other thing I would add is as you look at this bill, there are 2 positions not funded in it, and we would ask that you give consideration. One is the PIO, or Public Information Officer. This bill hits the meat. It hits those who actually fight the fires. But you also, it's very helpful, we have found as we deal with BLM and other federal firefighting agencies, it is very helpful to have someone explain to the public what's going on, coordinate those efforts, and help explain and get people, to understand, again, what each fire team is doing, help with the evacuations. So we believe that's an important position. And then again, those people in the back office that actually see those contracts are signed, see that the bills are paid, and see that, literally the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and that would be the administrative position. So with that, Mr. Chairman, as I said, we support the bill. We ask you for your consideration for those 2 additional positions. And Kelly stands ready for questions.
Okay, any questions? Madam Forster, please.
Chairman, thank you. Thank you, Randall. So I just want to remind this committee, Wyoming is responsible for 32.7 million acres of state and private lands when it comes to wildfire suppression. Okay, so these modules are being designed and have been asked for to really save money for Wyoming, focusing on that initial attack, just like our aviation does, the initial attack. And so that's what we're looking at, is how do we get these boots on the ground quicker and using state resources to do that. Outside of that, when they're not fighting wildland fire, they're gonna be doing fuels mitigation work. And where we're looking at placing these 2 modules are very specific to looking at where we can get fuels mitigation work done, specifically not just on state lands, but around our communities and even in our state parks. And again, when we're doing fuels mitigation work, the ROI is about, for every $1 on mitigation, it's about $7 in return. for fire suppression costs. So as you saw, the bill has been amended in the House to add a second module, and that's to provide an east and a west module for Wyoming. We're working very closely with other state agencies to provide housing and office space for these modules. And again, we're going to place them where we believe the highest utilization in wildland fire response, as well as fuels mitigation work, can be done in the state. This is about saving critical grass for ranchers, saving fences, homes and infrastructure, and critical wildlife habitat. As Randall pointed out, the Wyoming Rural Fire Association and the Fire Chiefs Association asked joint appropriations for 4 modules. This bill is half of their request with 2 modules, and this is about supporting one of Wyoming's most important assets, Wyoming's volunteer firefighters. And with that, I'll stop here and ask if there's any other questions you may have for both Randall and I.
Any questions? Any questions? Yes, Senator Rowe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you both for being here. Appreciate you being here. To the good policy director, you talked about these two extra positions, PIO, and I'm sorry, the other one was
Admin.
and if I'm looking at this bill, I see these other positions all laid out. I'm just looking to see where we would put such an amendment, but anyway, I just wanted to make sure I heard again what you said, got 2.
Mr. Chairman, Senator Grew, you did hear me correctly, and should you have specific questions, that's why I have Kelly here.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So I guess my question is, adding the second module in this bill, I support that. I support that. The PIO, I'm going to give you another shot because I'm not there yet. You have any thoughts?
Mr. Chairman, evidently I failed in my opening remarks on the PIO, so maybe I would ask Kelly to add some.
Chairman Salazar, it's a very good question. Specifically in the last 2 years, we have found a significant gap in being able to get communication out to the public, and this is about public safety. This is about, we're closing roads at 3 a.m. as a fire is coming into your community, and we're frantically calling Homeland Security, the agencies within ourselves, to help provide support. At the same time, we're trying to support communities as quickly as possible with the effects that are going on with these wildfires. There's also a pretty significant gap in education and in looking at how we can do a better job in planning and education when it comes to community wildfire protection plans, which I think over half of Wyoming's counties right now are in the process of updating their community wildfire protection plans. So this is a connection that we have really saw that is that missing gap when it comes to community safety and response and getting the correct communication. Because what we really learned is it's happening so fast, you can't wait for a newspaper. It's happening so fast, they're trying to find it on Facebook. They're trying to find it on the radio. People in rural Wyoming don't have all the right communication as Ari, the emergency manager, the fire warden in that county, is trying to dispel that information quickly, whether it's through reverse 911 or whatever that may be. We still need that PIO to be there providing correct and accurate information, not only to the media, but to the public, so that they know exactly where they need to take their horses, exactly where they need to go for food and shelter and all those things as that fire is progressing into their community.
Mr. Chairman, if I just add my amen to that, we certainly saw in last year's fires, as you go back and talk about what went right, what went wrong, most of the time what we heard of what went wrong was lack of communication. And again, those people that are out there fighting the fires, they shouldn't have to take time off to be able to go into a radio station or start to send out Facebook notifications. We need them to fight the fires, but we need an experienced person that knows how to work with them to explain how and when.
Any questions? Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Who else would like to testify on this bill? Anyone else like to testify? Come on up, please. Welcome, folks. This is an imposing table.
Nice.
Please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and committee. My name is Chris Coker. I am representing the Wyoming Fire Chiefs and Rural Fire Association. I currently serve as the Washakie County Fire Warden and the Worland Fire Chief. The opportunity that is before you to help bolster the wildland fire program in the state of Wyoming is monumental for our state. In past years, the state lands and the other lands have been, for the most part, supported strictly by volunteers. And as that changes a little bit due to dynamics of getting volunteers, the ability to leave jobs and things like that, sometimes we have less and less folks to be able to accomplish that mission. But when we have a request to the state, I believe that you've seen in the last 2 years how much the air assets that you've provided, and we thank you very much for those. Last summer, we used those extensively in my area around 10 Sleep. We had 3 emergency fire suppression account fires, and they were great assets for in the first shift and moving forward. They saved probably tens of millions of dollars in terms of suppression account costs by being able to get on it and get lines in place. As we move forward, the ability to allow our volunteers, our other departments to continue to work emergencies within their own districts by supporting them with these modules for long-term sustained suppression ability. It is vital as we look into this year that having 2 modules to start with is we could get to a point where those will be overrun in a fairly short order with all the rest of our resources, the way we are looking at this spring.
Questions? Thank you. Thank you. Who's next? Sir.
Chairman Salazar, committee. My name's Brent Godfrey. I'm representing the Fire Chiefs and Rural Association. I'm also Bighorn County's Fire Warden and Bighorn County Fire District 2's Fire Chief. I look at this as we used to be able to man type 3 teams, which we could keep fires small instead of having to order type 2 or type 1 teams in. Having these modules will give us that alternative where instead of turning them into $1 million fires, we can keep them in hundreds of thousands of dollar fires. And, you know, everything else has been said, so, you know, I ask for you guys' support in the 2 modules and getting this started. It's gonna be, you know, like the one gentleman was saying, we've had fires all year long and we've still got fires going on today. So it's gonna happen.
Thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Who else? Sir.
Chairman, members of the committee, thank you for allowing us this time today. Jerry Parker, Park County Fire Warden, and I represent rural fire chiefs and Wyoming fire chiefs. I think everybody has said what's needed to be said, but this does give our local volunteer firefighters relief. There used to be a time where an employer would pay his firefighters to go out. The firefighter could leave for any amount of time that was necessary. Today, they can leave, but may not get paid. So just thank you guys for your support for this.
Senator Guru.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, thanks for being here, and and anyone can answer this. Just a quick, I don't want to belabor it too much, but there was an ask about a PIO, and I guess my question for you all is, in hearing the testimony we heard, that one of the big, after the last stretch of fires, one of the concerns was lack of communication. And I know in my neck of the woods, I know we have incident commanders, and we have, the county has a PIO and has all these resources. But as I look at you and look at some more rural areas and stuff, Chief, maybe you can help me with this, Worland, in your area, do you see that need as well? And if so, if not, what resources do you have in your community? Or do you think this does have the merit that the others have been talking about?
Chairman, committee, I do believe that it does have merit for several reasons. First off, this helps provide a coordinated report to folks. Misinformation is one of the greatest risks we run when things are in a crazy and chaotic time during the first, second, third shift a lot of times. So as an incident commander, I don't always have access to a PIO immediately, which would be a great benefit. I do have my county emergency manager who is working through trying to get to a qualified PIO position, and she does a good job. But we need to be able to have instant, coordinated, qualified PIOs in place. And that helps to stop some of the misinformation and helps to provide guidance, and in some cases could prevent a loss of life.
And committee members, it's also, I don't know if you guys look at social media much, but when there's an incident, you see things on Facebook and that are just outrageous. This will give 1 point with accurate information.
Chairman Salza,
Yes.
committee, I'll give you a perfect example, Senator Grew. We had the elk fire going on in Sheridan County that borders Bighorn County, and they shut the highway down going over the mountain and never told anybody about it on our side of the mountain, which the fire was not affecting. And we had ranchers and cabin owners and general public going nuts over the fact nobody was told what was going on, because the PIO and all the stuff was on Sheridan County's side, where if we could have had a coordinated PIO, which I'm assuming these modules would be able to provide if you requested it, we could solve some of these major issues.
Okay, let's continue.
Mr. Chairman, Senators, Lanny Applegate, representing the Wyoming Fire Chiefs, Wyoming Rural Association. I'm not going to talk about what you've already heard. You not only heard it here today from folks, this was an interim committee, and you guys had great testimony and a lot of great questions over the last few months. And so some of the things I want to just mention, though, is our volunteers, this will help them greatly for the fact that right now they can go out for 2-3 days maybe, but they've got a real job back home. They got family back home. So a lot of these fires, if you guys are certainly aware of, it stretches out there a week, 2 weeks, maybe 30 days, depending on the, so this would certainly be a help. And kind of give you another, just some food for thought. I'm going to mention some different states around. South Dakota, they have 37 full-time firefighters. Utah, 140 full-time. Idaho, 93 full-time. Arizona, 146. And they don't have near the landscape that we have, the public lands. So this is not a big ask. This is just a big help, if you will, to our volunteers, who does a tremendous job. You know, I've been here for 50 years, and they've done an enormous job over the years, but we need your help, and please help us.
Questions? Questions? So that second module is going to help, correct? Right? Yeah, okay. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Other public testimony? Who else? Please, come on up. Because yeah. Okay. Welcome. Who's going to start?
I'll start, Mr. Chairman. My name is Dave North. I'm a county commissioner out in Natrona County. I've also got a fire background and wildlife and environmental background as well. To start with, the module system is the next step. We've approved the tanker seat systems and the helitack out of Natrona County, which made a huge difference as far as the response and everything else. This is the next thing that's important to us, because with fire, the faster you can respond, the quicker you can get it put out. The IPO is very important as well, because information is something that's really important to get out to everybody. And that's always a problem. When you have any type of emergency where people don't have that information, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that information. But having this module and this system will really help as far as getting those guys out there and respond quickly. A lot of the rural areas that we have in the state, they may or may not have full-time firefighters. If they've got to call those people in to respond, it takes just that much longer for them to get there. If they've got a full-time job, it delays that response time. I used to live up in Clark. I understand how that stuff goes. I've lived around the state. I've lived in Jackson, and I understand that. So I understand the state very well as far as what's out there and what we really need. And like I said, this is just the next step that we need to take to make sure that we can suppress these fires, because it's very dry out there right now. And I know this is an abnormal year, but we've had a lot of abnormal years lately. So with that, I'll stand for any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brett Moline, Wyoming Farm Bureau Federation, sitting in firm support of this bill. I'll try not to repeat all the positive attributes of this, but the two modules, one on each side of the state, to speed up the response, to shorten the response time for these fires is paramount concern. Talking with my members across the state, the confidence that they have in the state running a fire is fantastic. There's a lot of trust. The coordination works much better. So if we can get on these fires earlier and keep it from becoming a federal fire, that's a win-win for everybody. The positive attributes, of course, will accrue to my members in the agricultural industry, but it's also going to be positive to wildlife. My members, I've not met a member yet that doesn't appreciate having wildlife. They take responsibility for it. They enjoy it. So having to keep the habitat for wildlife in good shape is just as important as keeping it for our livestock. I see this as an investment into the state to keep these fires smaller, get on them quicker, get them put out quicker. And the only other point I want to make is about the public information officer. This summer, I live up in Thermopolis now, and there was a fire out north and east of Thermopolis. The information flow from the federal agencies was okay, but it could have been better. So I think having the state resources, the state coordination is paramount. People want to know what's going on. What can they do? What should they not do is oftentimes just as important. So having this public information officer is going to help out everybody. With that, Mr. Chairman, sitting firmly in support of these two modulars and the other two positions, I take any questions you or the committee may have for me. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Jim McGagnon with the Wyoming Stockgrowers Association. I would concur fully with the remarks made by the previous speaker and won't repeat those. I would simply point out a couple of things. You know, many of our members live out in the country, have homes out there, they have livestock scattered throughout these lands, and the importance of timely information, timely action cannot be stressed too much. We've experienced working directly with them the pain and suffering and expenses associated with these large fires we've had the past 2 years in Wyoming. And it would be naive not to think that this year might be a repeat of those, if not even worse. So I think that having the two modules in order to assure timeliness of response is critical, and particularly for our people, the PIO to assure that they have timely and adequate information. That's one of the criticisms we've had for years of the Forest Service when they come in to fight fires. They bring in these out-of-state crews that don't know the communities, they don't know the systems that are in place there, and the communication is often so very poor, results in loss of livestock in fire and loss of improvements that could be avoided if we had good, strong communication. So we would strongly support the PIO be putting in this bill as well. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'd be pleased to take any questions.
Thank you, Committee.
Hello, Era Arano, Rocky Mountain Farmers Union. You don't always get ag unity, but today on this bill you have it. I support what my colleagues said earlier and just want to reinforce a couple things. The fuels mitigation, which is possible should they not be out on a fire, is an important aspect in the prevention world. We are in desperate need of that across the state, and there's plenty of work to do should they not be fighting fires. The financial impact of fires on our members is massive, whether that's fencing, lost pasture, all of the different pieces. And then finally, speaking as a volunteer for search and rescue, which is not the same, but I can speak to the concept of when we have extended searches that last more than a couple days, the impact it not only has on us as volunteers, but on our families and on our employers in our community. And so it's really, really hard to get volunteers to sustain something on a large scale for very long in an effective way. And that is part of why this is so important. Thank you, in support of this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Jessica Crowder. I'm representing the Nature Conservancy of Wyoming, and I won't repeat what everyone has already said. I do, and the Nature Conservancy does support the bill and the two modules. And from a landscape perspective, we all know that it's really important to be able to manage fires, to get out there in a timely manner for wildfire suppression. And of course, that fuels mitigation side of it is incredibly important as we work in Wyoming, of course, to improve our ecosystems, and it really does build healthy economies and keep those healthy economies alive and well. So the Nature Conservancy of Wyoming supports the bill, and I stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm on, and of course, for the bill. We did work this, all through interim, and be sure, everyone knows, I hope everyone knows that the committee took this very seriously about, that time frame when the first responders, the local guys are out there, to have them know that there's someone that's going to come. They'll have backup, that helps on the way, that they're not just out there until, whenever, was very paramount to all of us, which is how we got here. So firmly in support of this bill. With regard to the PIO, it'd be my preference to bring that out on the floor so we can have a full discussion on it with the entire body. So we'll be bringing that so we can have that discussion on the floor, but I don't think I'm ready to bring it today. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, roll call vote for House Bill 0036. Senator Driscoll? Senator French? No. Senator Garou?
Aye.
Senator Larson?
Excused.
And Chairman Salzar.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, you have 2 ayes and 1 no.
Okay, thank you. The next item is HB 112, Riverton State Office Task Force Sunset. Do we have someone here to discuss that?
Termo. I don't think so. Somebody's going to leap in the breach.
Mr. Chairman, I'm doing well. I was hoping that Representative Larson was going to be here. He's presented before, but he did that in front of this committee during the earlier session, so I'll try and not butcher it too bad. For the last couple of years, Mr. Chairman, Dale McComey, Director with State Construction Department. For the last few years, we've been working with a task force on the Riverton office building. You yourself, Mr. Chairman, served on that. And that committee provided feedback to the department and to the consultants that were doing the level 1 work on that particular building. The thought of the current committee, and again, chairman of that is Representative Larson, was that because we've moved on now to the formal design and construction activities in the future, that task force no longer needed to be there. There is some funding still left, and that, I believe in the bill, is to be turned back upon the conclusion of the sunset of the committee, and that's this spring for the sunset of the committee. So with Mr. Chairman, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. That's correct. Yes, Mr. Chairman.
No, sir. French.
I just want to thank Dell for pitch hitting. Nice job.
Roll call vote on House Bill 112. Senator Driscoll?
Excused.
Senator French? Senator Garou?
Aye.
Senator Larson?
Excused.
And Chairman Salzar.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, you have 3 ayes, 2 pass.
Next item is House Bill 106, Smoke Buster Module Leaders. Madam Forrester? Are you looking for another director?
Yes, he's hiding in the background. But he's more than welcome to join me up here.
He's on.
Oh, good. Mr. Chairman, this is House Bill 106. This is sponsored by Joint Appropriations. This is the Smoke Buster Module Leader Bill. So just to give you some background in this bill, this is looking at our forestry conservation program and really looking at to make the forestry conservation program more available for wildfire response, as well as increasing hazardous fuels mitigation efforts. And what the addition of the 2 module leaders can do is really help build that depth in skills and qualifications for the staff and inmates, and then from there, build out a second module. So that is the point of these 2. The first position would start, according to the bill, April 1st, 2026, and then the second one would follow the following year, April 1st, 2027. There's been no amendments to this bill over in the House, just so you're aware. Just want to make sure you're aware of that. And with that, I don't have anything more. Do you have anything you want to add?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Senate committee members. My name is Dan Shannon with Department of Corrections. I just wanted to reassure this committee, and you can ensure that your House, that In the event that it would be supported, Department of Corrections will ensure that this is a successful program and provide the inmates needed to help our citizens.
What's the number on this?
Mr. Chairman, that is correct. I believe it's $499,709 from general fund. There is a one-time expense with it, though, out of that, $129,255, and that is for the vehicles.
So
for
is
each
the
of those
one, is
positions.
the 99 biennial or yearly?
Ooh. So it will be 307,454. The appropriation will cover salaries, benefits for the two positions.
Right, is that a biennium number?
That's the biennial, yep.
Okay. Okay. Discussion, questions? Thank you, appreciate it. I'll take any, is there anyone else from any other agencies that would like to testify? Public comment? Anyone? Would anyone like to testify? Come on up. Welcome back.
Mr. Chairman, committee. The Wyoming Fire Chiefs Association, again, Chris Coker, Wyoming Fire Chiefs Association Rural. The Wyoming Fire Chiefs Association and Rural Fires supports this bill. As you may remember, a number of years ago, we had two different modules, the Smoke Busters and the Wranglers. Wranglers were in Riverton, Smoke Busters were in Newcastle. One of the greatest benefits that we see on the chiefs and the rural to this is by being able to build this out and eventually get to two modules is they're a pretty hot commodity. They're an inexpensive way to fight fire or emergencies, and they're fairly highly sought after. So when we start having lightning busts and breakouts of fires, they get absorbed fairly quickly into the fire system. And so if we have the ability to have two modules down the road, it's a benefit and a cost reduction, certainly to the state of Wyoming, the emergency fire suppression account, and all the constituents.
Great, thank you for your, any questions? Thank you. Who else would like, come on up. We got a couple chairs up here. Who would like to go first?
The elected officials.
The elected officials, okay.
I never thought it was supposed to be that way, but anyway, Mr. Chairman, on behalf of the WCCA and myself, we do support this. And
I apologize, can you give your name
I'm
again?
sorry, my name is Dave North, and I'm a Natrona County Commissioner.
Yep, okay, thanks.
Sometimes I forget. So anyway, but we do support this for the same reasons. Just the rapid response and making sure that we have the needed assets out in the field that we really have to have. And I think this is an important composition of that. So.
Thanks, thank you, appreciate it. Brett?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Brett Moline, Wyoming Farm Bureau Federation. My members' policies certainly support. I should have said that in the previous bill, that I go by my members' policy. My members' policies support this bill too. Having state resources is an effective way to lower the cost of fighting fire and saving resources, including money and land. With that, Mr. Chairman, I would sit, to not be redundant on my other testimony, but sitting in support, I would take any questions from you or the committee.
Any questions? Thank both of you, appreciate your testimony. Who else would like to testify? Anyone else? Okay, is there anyone online? Then I'll close public testimony and ask the committee for, what's your pleasure? Move the bill? Is there a second? Is there a second? I'll second it. Any discussion? Any comments? Any amendments? Roll call.
Mr. Chairman, roll call vote for House Bill 106. Senator Driscoll, excused. Senator French? No. Senator Garou?
Aye.
Senator Larson?
Aye.
Chairman Salzar?
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, you have 3 ayes and 1 no.
Okay, thank you so much. And the last one is HB 111, state-funded capital construction. Leave that for the last, huh? Is there anyone here to talk about this? Good, thank you. Appreciate it. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I will try to briefly run through this House Bill 111. And if you have any questions on specific areas, I would be happy to answer any questions at the end. N.A. Crossland with the LSO. So on this bill, from page 1 to the top of page 3, we have the definitions for the bill. After that, page 3 all the way to page 6, we have section 2, which outlines the individual projects. There are 2 tables here for the reason of appropriating directly to the State Parks and Cultural Resources Department as recommended by the governor to avoid a B11. The House made a few changes within the table on page 4. Firstly, they added 1 project, the Department of Agriculture's State Fair Show Center floor. It has an authorization now of $2 million private revenue. Below that, 4 projects were also amended to reflect the State Construction Department's original request, where there is a roughly 45% to 55% split, with 55% being paid for from the general fund and 45% from private revenue. Following this, pages 7 to 8 have section 3. Section 3 is the major maintenance section. Historically, this has been in section 308 of the budget bill. This section is also appropriated slightly differently, where there is a sum amount in section A, and then it is distributed proportionally. The House also amended this top sum amount, adding $375,503 for the Northwest College Student Center. This then changed the proportional distribution below it for going to each agency. The new proportional amounts are 37 6/10% to the State Construction Department for state buildings, facilities, and sites managed by the SCD, 7 99/100% to the Department of State Parks and Cultural Resources, 36 3/400% to the University of Wyoming, and lastly, 18 700% to the State Construction Department for community colleges. The next section, section 4, starts at the bottom of page 8 to the top and goes until the top of page 10. Section 4 is the Wyoming State Penitentiary Capital Construction Account Appropriation Amendment. This is an amendment to permit the remaining funds from the $10 million originally appropriated in 2023 so that they can use it to buy land. As it stands now, they can't use it to purchase land because of how the statute is written. This amendment would allow that. Lastly, on pages 10 to 12 is the Wyoming State Shooting Complex. This is mirror language to House Bill 1, amendment from the second reading 113 as it was adopted, and Senate File 1, second reading adopted amendment number 17. I would note here that towards the end of it, on page 12, starting at line 11, it states that funds authorized for expenditure under this section would be reduced $1 for every dollar appropriated to the state shooting complex account in 2026, House Bill 1, if enacted to law. That means if either one of those bills, which this was mirrored after, passed, it would be reduced by dollar for dollar. So it wouldn't be a duplication. And this last section, Section 5, is effective immediately, and the rest of the bill is effective fiscal year 27.
Okay, there it is. Questions? Questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Senator
I
Larson.
don't have a question. I guess I just see a section 10 on page 9 that I don't know what that refers to.
Mr. Chairman, Senator Larson, that is under Section 4 because it amends Section 10 from session law in 2023.
You're welcome. Okay, other questions? Other questions? Other questions? Okay, appreciate it. Thank you so much. Other testimony? Who would like to give comment on this? Anyone? Director?
Mr. Chairman, Dale McComey, Director for State Construction Department. This bill follows fairly closely with the governor's recs. There was some additions that were noted by your LSO staff. However, it does follow the recommendations on those items that were added with the community colleges that was we looked at as the SBC and the State Construction Department. And in fact, the governor during the SBC actually voted for those projects. He didn't include those because of looking at the overall state's budget and trying to be fiscally conservative in what he presented in his budget. So those items down below were not included, but certainly, as I mentioned, he did vote for those in the SBC, and in fact, it was, I believe, unanimous vote by the SBC members themselves. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'd certainly answer any questions on the bill you might have.
So Director, what is your understanding of the total ticket item for this?
Mr. Chairman.
What's the cost?
The cost total? I haven't added that up off the top of my head. I think, let me see here. Mr. Chairman, the biggest item is certainly the major maintenance out of that. That's more than half of it. I believe we were at about 105 million, if I recall, before the additions of the community colleges. Within that, I think that's about right, the number. So we'd have about another 20 million or so in that community college ads for LCCC and for Sheridan.
So 125?
And of course, the major maintenance, Mr. Chairman, I think that was 232 million, if I believe, in the bill.
233.
Yes. I believe, Mr. Chairman, if you go to page 4 of the bill, on the breakdown for the capital construction, the projects themselves, so all of those, the total appropriations is 207 million. However, that does, there are some of that includes their own funding, such as with the military department, and then the 50-50 splits with community colleges. So we're really looking at about 127.2 million in general fund monies. Then federal funds was 47 million. Other funds, and that would include the matching funds from the community colleges, as well as some of the money that State Parks raises themselves, or 33, a little over 33 million to come up with that 207, and then again that 233 roughly for major maintenance on top of that.
Okay, thank you for that. Other discussion, questions? Senator Guru?
Yeah, thanks. On the handout that we just received, the way I see it, it's 360,586 in general funds, and then as you talked about, Del, the 44 million in federal, 7.3 in other funds, and then the private funds, 33 million. So a total 448,075 is the total number, but for the general fund, our purposes,
It's 127.
360 with major maintenance and the construction. That sound about right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that sounds right.
If you could have, one more.
Please.
Yeah. Just want to make sure I have it. In the House, our friends over in the House, in their amendment number 2, it's like committee of the whole, the 232,979, 440 add on major maintenance, that was for the other, tell me again what that
Yes,
was.
Mr. Chairman, there was one building for the community colleges, I believe it was at Powell, that was not included in the original major maintenance calculation. So that money was added in to provide for that newer building.
How much was that?
Suzanne, do you have that? I think it was $365,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Other discussion? Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Who else would like to comment on this? Come on up. Welcome.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Erin Taylor. I represent the Wyoming Association of Community College Trustees. I just wanted to express our support for this bill, and fortuitously, this week, I have presidents from all three of these issues that you've discussed today who are here and can provide more information if you have questions on the LCCC project, the Sheridan project, and the addition of the Student Center for Northwest College. So I thought I would offer that up, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is Kelly Little. I'm with the Associated General Contractors of Wyoming. AGC Wyoming stands in support of this bill, particularly the appropriation for the Veterans Home of Wyoming in Buffalo. That's a project that's been put off for several years now and is just getting more expensive. So we were hopeful that the legislature would go ahead and get that shovel-ready project going. Also supportive of all the other projects and particularly the major maintenance. And with that, I would stand for questions.
So let me talk about that. That is in here, the Veterans Home for 80, is it 87?
Mr. Chairman, yes, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you, appreciate it. Other comments? Come on up.
Mr. Chairman, Senators, my name is Dan Shannon with the Wyoming Department of Corrections. I just had a few comments regarding Section 4 on page 10, where with reference to the footnote on the penitentiary. This is not an ask for funding. We had enrolled Act 84 in 2023, and it provided $10 million in funding to get three objects done. One was to tear down the administration building on grounds at the Wyoming Honor Farm in Riverton. The second one was to start demolition of the old Wyoming State Penitentiary North, and the third was to acquire land for potential future building sites for the penitentiary, for a new penitentiary. We did remove the administration building at the farm. The estimated cost for tearing down the Wyoming State Penitentiary North was in excess of $33 million, so I took no action with that. When we initially did a test site in approximately 2019 on the ground, where we're looking at, there was two sections, and one was private and one was state-owned. And at that time, the state construction department tested both sites. And the private land is suited if we ever want to build a new institution there. Now, since such time, it's changed hands 4 times, the property has. Back then, they were willing to possibly switch land. So what we're asking in this footnote is not to spend any money, but to have the state lands, state construction department and Department of Corrections work together, then report back to the State Building Commission. I'll stand for questions.
Any questions? Thank you, Director.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Chairman.
Any other public testimony? Anyone online?
Mr. Chairman, there's Walter Triplett, Sheridan
Okay.
College.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I signed up in case you had questions for me. I'd simply like to echo Ms. Taylor's support for all of the community college projects and would do my best to answer questions if the committee had them.
Any questions? Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Any other public comment? Anyone else online? Okay, I'll close public comment.
Move the bill.
Move the bill. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Discussion. Does anyone have any thoughts with regard to the Veterans Home? Any thoughts either way on that? Anyone want to make a?
I thought we were going to put that off until there was federal funds.
That was my understanding as well. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Senator?
As I recall, and we did discuss this a lot in JEC, and I know we kind of went back and forth on it, and the way I recall it, we did put it in the end, because with the change in administration and with the repositioning, shall I say, of our congressional delegation, it was felt, the testimony I recall is they felt that they would be able to be a little more aggressive in going back to the administration to try to recoup those funds, and felt strongly enough about it that they wanted to go ahead and try to have us pull that trigger now, front the money to build it, that they thought that they might be able to get that money back. That's what I recall, but I don't, if you all recall it differently, that was, like I say, that was the discussion as I recall it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other discussion on this issue? Anyone have any amendments? Anything?
I would move that we pull it from the list.
Okay, there's an amendment to pull the veterans funding from the list. Is there a second? Is there a second? I'll second that. Any discussion?
Well, Mr. Chairman, just what I said, I think costs never go down, and this is one of those, I've kind of gone back and forth on it too. I'm not going to disagree with you. I understand the theory, but, we wait on the federal government and it just gets more expensive. So like I said, given the fact that there's a new administration, given the fact that our congressional delegation might have a little more push to be able to get it done with that administration, I think it's worth it. And I'll be voting not to pull it. Thank you.
Okay. All those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? No. Fails. Other discussion on the bill? Roll call.
Roll call vote for House Bill 111. Senator Driscoll,
Excused.
Senator French,
I'm thinking.
Take your time.
Aye.
Senator Garou,
Aye.
Senator Larson.
Aye.
Chairman Salzar.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, you have 4 ayes, 1 excused. Do pass.
That's the extent of our agenda today. Thank you.